All right, so we've got the London low taken from between, we have right here 2 a.m. to 5. So we're left London highs, Asia highs, New York PM highs, New York AM highs from yesterday, which is the previous daily high. 15-minute liquidity sweep I had marked out before I even did the recording, before it even got there. This is 50% of this dealing range. So from London's high down to London's low, that's right about 50%. So I'm looking for price potentially come down here into this 15-minute fair value gap, and then use that as a trampoline in a sense to push it higher to take out. This is not going to be the minor buy side. London highs, Asia highs would be my main targets. So this would be the draw. Price. You can see here once we took out this and then we created displacement. So we change the state of delivery with a 15-minute fair value gap. Expect price to come back to it. Doesn't have to, but that's what we would be looking for. So I'm gonna let price kind of do what it wants to do. If you take a look at the economic calendar as well, we've got PMI at 945 and you've revised consumer sentiment at 10. So really we just want to see, what price to show me, excuse me, that we are going higher. If I look here, we have 15 minutes. You can see the 15-minute liquidity sweep here, and then we did not sweep it here yet on ES. So if ES holds and creates an SMT here, which we'll just mark this out, sell side for now. Okay, then that would give us a SMT and probably pretty decent indication that we're going to go higher. If we don't take that, we still can take it though and go higher, so it just depends. But we have short-term low. So I'd like to see like some displacement and then a fair value gap entry potentially if we don't come down here. But I feel like we would come down here. This is the 50% and 0.62 level with just this dealing range here from this low to this high, which price tends to gravitate to that level. Because the way that I'm thinking about this is this would be our London protraction profile, so the classic London protraction. Basically, between 2 to 5, is there an internal or external PD array on the 15-minute and the 1 hour? So if we go up to the 1 hour, between 2 to 5, did we come into a 1 hour PD array, internal or external? There's a 1 hour fair value gap right here, right? And we respected it. Also during that time, we did take out London lows, so we swept liquidity. So it's 2 PD arrays essentially, internal and external. You can see it a little bit clearer here. Here's London low, and we swept it here right at 5. Right? So we've created our change in the state of delivery, which we would expect anytime between 7 to 10. So 6:45, that candle creates, boom, 7, 6:45 to 7, creates the change in state of delivery. So now what we want to see, if we do not come down here, we want to see this short-term high broken through with some displacement. And then we will go ahead and enter on a fair value gap. Remember, this is minor buy side right here. So this is exactly what we want to see. We want this to close, right? Just like that. And since it's Friday, I'm only doing half position size, so okay, so we want to go ahead, we're going to wait 40 seconds for this to create a fair value gap, potentially. Which could be right here. And then when it does that, we will go ahead and enter there. There we go. Stop just below the low. Take off 2 up here. Take off 1 at the London high. And 1 at Asia high. So what would be really, really good, remember we've got 9:45, so in 35 minutes or so, um, we have the news driver. So it would be great if before 9:30 we were getting all the way up here already, because then that would just excel us through all of this, right? So we're gonna wait. Again, like I said, we're half position size because it's Friday. I'm gonna do it just above that. 30 handles for 2. That's 50. If you remember though too that this was the SMT, right? Because we took the low. Remember, I said I wanted it to be up here before 9:30. That way when 9:30 hits, we get that volatility injection to push us to London high, Asia high. So we want this to hold. That's why our stop's at this low. But we could just get blown through right here, truthfully. Because it is, you know, PMI. Hardcore manipulation on a day like today. That's why I'm half position size, because I could be wrong and it could take like a $200 loss here. You know, and that would suck, but is what it is. But I do think that this fair value gap will hold, and that's just creating this is just additional buy side liquidity, minor buy side that's been generated. And then keep in mind, right, is you know, I had the idea that we could come back down to this 15-minute fair value gap. So we could come in and completely take me out really quick here, right? And that would clear up this SMT and the sell side on ES. It would clear out all this sell side down here. And then that would just give me a potential option for an entry, a second entry, right? Because this first one would be I'd be stopped out on. This is a pretty heavy move at 918 for really no reason, which is strange because that's just like a time that has no bearing essentially. Like there's no reason for a price to just to drop like this. Let's move this over here so you guys can see. Okay, we're going to cut that position because it's going to go down there. So we're cutting that. You're up 200. Come back to the 15-minute, get a better idea of what's going on. See? So then what my expectation is probably is that 930 is going to create that manipulation. All right, you still have an SMT here with ES. So we're at a $115 loss right now, currently in both accounts. So we're just going to wait a second. Since it is news at 9:45 and 10 a.m., it could be like just a really nonsense type of day. We can go like this. This is where the settlement price is. right? Which then gives you even more indication that, you know, probably going to go up and grab that, truthfully. There we go. There's short-term low. Basically right at that 50% of the dealing range too. We have a few minutes until 9:30 open, and do not want to be on the wrong side of that volatility. So have to wait a second. Didn't quite tap into the 15-minute. Close, but not quite. We swept that liquidity, so truthfully, like, we're probably going to have a heavy push here. Yeah, that's just like I thought. Okay. So we, like I said, we're still looking for London highs. So I re-entered at that fair value gap, just past it. If I would have left the position open, um, it, it would have been a little bit different, but it's extremely volatile at the moment. But I'm looking for London highs, right? So we're in 10 contracts here. We got 5 coming off at London highs. So, almost at 30 handles we'll take. It's really struggling to get up there, ain't it? We're gonna take 5 off here. The rest of our position is in profit. We'll take off another 2, another 3 up here. Don't want price to come back down here at all, so we're gonna, at this high, if it comes back to this high right here, we're out of the position for a profit. We're up on the day 400. So there's London. So we're going to sell one more at London, get rid of that. So now we've got one, two. Let's go and sell 2 more at London. Put us at 2 contracts left to run up. We're going to put 1 stop right here at this high. Take 1 off there. And then it could go all the way to previous day high. Like, we're just going to let this last runner go until 10, I think. Yeah, we're coming fast, so we're going to close out right there. So it's a good trade. You see, if I would have left the entry here and had my stop, would have been taken. So regardless, I still took that $100 loss. Still up $400 on the day, so basically 500. Our goal was London high. This was just minor buy side liquidity right here. Settlement price is just extra confluence that we're going to push up there. But once we get to London high, there's no specification to say that like we're going to continue higher, right? The target's London high. That's why you can see I took off everything pretty much at London high. As soon as we rejected here, just closing the rest of the position because we could just dump, right? That's totally possible. So yeah, there you go. Again, just to give you an idea, we'll start at the 1 hour. Okay, so remember, part of this is we are looking at, go ahead and grab the snip tool so I can show you classic protraction. Okay, oops. Okay, so here you go. Here's classic London protraction. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let me make sure. Yeah, you can. Okay. So between 2 to 5, we should see come down into an internal liquidity or external on 15-minute or 1 hour. Discount PD array. And then push off that between 7 to 10 should come into like a 15-minute PD array and create some sort of an SMT. And then push up from 10 to 12, it should continue higher. So it should continue higher here. If we take a look at this, we're in the 1 hour, right between, here's 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., which is right here. Okay, we come down and we come into that 1 hour fair value gap. Okay, so then, and we push off of it, so then we drop down to a 15-minute. Okay, 15-minute, you can see we're pushing. Clean this up a bit. We have a change in the state of delivery right here, right, on the 15-minute. We have a 15-minute liquidity sweep here. Yet ES does not take it, so there's an SMT. Okay, that's exactly what we wanted. Between what time? 7 to 10. What time is this? This is at 9, between 9 and 9:30. So that falls right in line with what we're looking for. Drop down to the 1 minute. We have a short-term low that is taken. We have right here, 15-minute is taken with the short-term low that's also taken. Okay, so even right here, if this short-term low taken, the 15-minute that was taken back there, enter at this fair value gap, stop 25 handles would be down here. You would have never been hit. But here, okay, here's a fair value gap. This is where a lot of people could be entering as well, right? Can they continue higher? Again, like I said, I could have held this position. I was in, you know, and we're probably going to come all the way up here to New York PM highs and potentially previous daily high, right? All the way until 10 to 12 would be, we won't be expanding anymore, right? So this is the news driver, volatility news driver. You know, I actually entered in on that. I would not recommend doing that. You can see I entered again right here. Essentially, the reason why I entered again right here is because if you take a look at that time, ES was coming into a breaker or order block and a breaker. So, and we had the short term taken here, we had the SMT, so it just gives me high confluence that we're going higher. Again, this fair value gap right here is probably going to hold, right? So that was the expectation, is we're gonna continue higher. London high was really all we were looking for, because even at the entry here, right, there's no fair value gap in here. This is just kind of mess. But at this fair value gap here, you know, you could see it doesn't even take us out with a 25 handle stop, which is good. But London high would be our target, so that's almost a 2 hour trade. And you can see this is working out pretty well also. Right, this fair value gap, 25 handle stop. I'm just going to hit that 30 handle, take profit in a second. There it is. So there you go. That's exactly what you're looking for. Again, like I said, this should continue to expand until 10 p.m. I could have held this but it's fine. Didn't lose out on too much. Still have a $400 day. As you can see, $400 right there in both accounts. So the model, again, remember, drawn prices London high. That's what I said at the very beginning. So the model is between 2 to 5 if we are in that classic London protraction. London low needs to be taken if we're bullish during that 2 to 5 window. Sometimes even can go from, all the way out to 7 to even 830. 830 driver could push down. But if you look at here, you can see at 830, we are all the way up here, right? So we had already taken the liquidity. We had already did the manipulation down here. We created the change in state of delivery. We are now up here. We are going to continue higher until 10 o'clock. Taking out London high, taking out Asia high, and probably taking out New York, yesterday's PM session high, and then potentially previously daily high. Just like ES, you can see smashed, right? It was probably a very clean setup on ES. Small fair value gap right there. You would have entered on that. Yeah, boom, to the previous day high. That's a beautiful trade. So, hope that helps. Until next time, I'll see you guys.